So it's good to be here with you today on this solstice day, and to hear the experience that people are having, various kinds of challenge and loss and joy and discovery of Dhamma and practice. And I've been reflecting a lot on the teachings that we heard and the teachers we visited in Thailand, and particularly lately thinking about Ajahn Ganha and the things that he talked about. This whole dramatic shift in human life when we move from the sense of self as our basis for life to the Dhamma, and having the Dhamma be our well, we know it's our real home, but having that be the basis for our life, the principle of life, instead of the sense of self, and trying to understand and have right understandings, as Ajahn Ganha would say, right view, right understanding, and right practice around that. Really observing our experience from that place of Dhamma rather than me and mine brings a profound change to our experience. And so I've been thinking about a kind of a guided meditation. I actually give myself guided meditation sometimes, and I really, really enjoy it. It may sound funny, but to really meditate from this sense of Dhamma and not self. So I thought we'd try it for a little bit here. I invite you to find a comfortable position. And relax the body. Invite the body to relax. Bring our attention to our breathing. Really establishing mindfulness, establishing awareness of the breath, first of all. Breathing in, taking a nice, slow, deep breath. Easy, without any forcing or pinching or trying, just allowing the breath to come in smoothly and or in whatever way it does, and breathing out. And as you breathe in, imagine that breath going through the whole body all the way down to your toes. And as you breathe out, let that out breath take away any impurities or those things that are not useful. So Luangpa Gana talks about breathing in the fresh air, the oxygen, and let it fill your whole body. And when you breathe out, letting go of stress and tension, letting that out breath carry away anything that doesn't serve you. And as you're aware of breathing in and breathing out, also see if you can feel the body relax a little bit more with each breath, particularly with each out breath. See if you can feel the muscles in your face relax. And on the next out breath, see if you can let your shoulders drop and feel any tension in your neck and shoulders drift away. Breathing in as deeply as you can, comfortably, without any squeezing. And then breathing out fully, letting go. Relaxing the body a little bit more each time. And I'm going to invite you to imagine that you're sitting at the edge of the water, maybe at the ocean or a lake or the bay or the sound. And the waves are coming in gently, coming up onto the beach or the rocks and gently cleansing and then moving out again, taking away any debris. And yet your breath coming in is like the wave coming in, pure and clean and cleansing, and then cleansing the body and the mind. And then as the wave goes out, it carries away anything that causes stress. You might even be able to imagine the sound of the water gently coming in, clearing, clearing away anything that's not useful as the wave goes out again. And if any distracting thoughts arise, you can imagine those words right there on the water, and the water carrying it away, dissolving those extraneous random thoughts. Freeing the mind. And when feelings arise in the body or in the mind, observing them with awareness, with kindness. Knowing that the real grounding, the real safety and consistency is in the awareness. And then the feeling comes and it goes. And we don't have to get involved in it. Don't have to take it as self. Just observing with compassion and kindness. And when we know what it is, when we see feeling for what it actually is, it can drift out with the waves. And we can notice that there are thoughts that arise that are pleasant and sticky, maybe something we want. And we can also see that for what it is, not truly satisfying. And we can let the waves carry those thoughts away. And what gets revealed underneath is the grounding in mindfulness and awareness and wisdom. And that there is a kind of free and easy, not sticky, not craving, not coming from the sense of self, but coming from the Dhamma that is comforting, peaceful, not self. That this is the place to reside. And eventually something wants to come in to intrude pain, maybe in the body or some kind of painful memory, something that we can now see as not self, not me, not mine, just passing through like the weather. Not to be clung to. Can know it and let it go. If thoughts and feelings arise that are reminding of our goodness, these we can use to lift up the mind, lift up the heart. Kindness, compassion, faith. Faith in the Buddha, the Dhamma, the enlightened Sangha. Joy and our generosity and kindness. This is the brightness of the mind, the peaceful mind. These are the thoughts and reflections that fit in with the Dhamma. With peace and mindfulness, awareness, it's not a rejection of experience. There's no pushing away. It's just a knowing, the wisdom to see things as they actually are. That our acceptance of the way things are, to be able to say, this is how it is. This is how it is to feel fear. This is how it is to feel pain. But then recognize the truth of the impermanence, the dukkha that comes with any attachment or clinging. And be able to just let it pass through without attachment. And of course, this is practice. So we don't always let it pass through right away. We might cling a little bit at first, or maybe a lot. But then when we understand, we can let it go. And then when we can really experience residing in the Dhamma, then the Dhamma takes over and reveals wisdom and experience to us that we didn't know before. And then the heart really swells with gratitude. So for now, I'm going to ask to draw this meditation to a close. But for anyone who wants to just stay in that space, feel free. Yes, Holly.
I meant to show a heart and not raise my hand. I really love that. Thank you.
Welcome. So I could say more, but I don't know if it's needed. um, I would like to encourage you in your practice to really take in that idea of using the principle of Dhamma as the basis for life and experiencing the difference between that and the sense of self. And it's only through our experience that we really understand. So I really, I think it's valuable to share those experiences to some degree, or any questions that come up around making that a complete shift in your life. Any thoughts you want to share or questions? Joni?
Yes, I just really want to thank you for that meditation. It really helps. It's helpful in terms of cutting through where I can often get stuck, as sort of the methodology of getting stuck in the method of meditation rather than the spirit of meditation. And so this was a really helpful reminder of cutting through that, like that conceptual method, which is something that I've started struggling with several months ago.
Mm-hmm.
and sort of it gets sticky for me. And it's interesting because it wasn't a way that I ever practiced before, like getting kind of sticky stuck in that methodology. So, and I've been trying to kind of find my way back to the spirit, interest, orientation, as opposed to method. So I'm not, yeah. So I really appreciate any, all and any pointers back to my home, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
So thank you.
Yeah. Yeah, it's true. I mean, even, we look at something like Anapanasati and there are these 16 instructions and we can really get caught up
Yeah.
in the head. But what we want to do is to take that into experience and not, you spend you spend some time in the beginning seeing what those instructions are and then what the Buddha is pointing to in terms of experience and letting go of the frame or just letting it stand as a backdrop so that we're not entangled in method.
Yeah. And that's what I want to get back to.
Yeah.
That's the way that I always practiced before. And then I don't know, maybe I started doing too much reading or
It's possible.
listening to, talks around the Abhidhamma or the Anapanasutta or that kind of stuff. And then I just kind of got too much stuck in my head. It's like, well, am I doing this right? Or, that sort of thing.
Yeah, thank you for sharing that because I think it's a common problem and it's really helpful to remember that we have to guide ourselves. We have to teach ourselves and know ourselves. And when we're happy and at ease, and the Dhamma kind of takes over in our meditation, that's really helpful and beautiful, and that's really where we want to spend our time. And like I said, a certain amount of applying our intellect to understand the Dhamma and the things that the Buddha tells us, and these great teachers like Longpa Ganha or Ajahn Sumedho or whoever it might be, that you've developed confidence in is really useful, but then we have to know when to sort of let that be and really go to the experience and keep it simple. Yeah. Thank you, Joni. Yes, Brittany.
Hi, yeah, I just wanted to share. So since last week you had spoken about not self a little bit, and then so throughout the week I've been trying to kind of say to myself, no attachment, like non-attachment throughout the day. And I'm finding it is often whenever I feel maybe some stress or some anxiety building, I'll like remind myself like non-attachment and then really look at what it is, the cause of that. And I just wanted to share that that's been really helping and that I'm still struggling with the not self, but I think I'm getting it a little bit.
Mm-hmm. That's great. That's great. And of course, there's always the possible pitfalls, and in all of these things, like working with feeling, for example, we want to make sure we don't repress it. We want to, this distinction, I think that Ajahn Jayasaro made between suppression and repression. Like, let's say we feel anger or something. If we repress it, we're driving it underground. We're not really examining it. So I really liked what you said, Brittany. You're looking at it. Where is the attachment? You know, what do I think is me or mine here? And can I be present with this feeling in a way that I'm not repressing it? I might need to suppress it and not act on it. So that's the kind of the side of not indulging in it, not going with it, but just observing it and really being present with it and understanding it like you were describing. And then it actually can fade on its own. And we're not repressing it in a way that it's going to bubble up and become a problem later. I mean, we still might feel anger again and again, but that's because of all the old, conditioning, the habit. But eventually it'll wear itself out as long as we're able to really have that presence. Yeah, thank you. Neil?
I just wanted to share that this meditation was very, very powerful for me. And something interesting happened. You know, I recently was part of a choral performance, and one of the pieces that we did is in Spanish, and it's called escucha, which means listen. And part of it was with an orchestra, a string orchestra, and part of it involved the chorus making sounds while the strings played, sounds of waves.
Ah,
And so as you were going through the meditation and, you had us at the water's edge, I automatically shifted into the sounds that I was making for this choral piece. And it just really focused my meditation in a way that I haven't experienced before. And I mean, I don't know if this is something that I could recommend for others to try, but I mean, I was doing it in a much more gentle way than I was in the chorus because we had to be heard over the orchestra. But it really, really brought me to a real centered place that
mhm.
that felt kind of new to me. I mean, I may have experienced it years ago, but it's been a long time. So I just the way that came sort of not so much full circle, but just the connection that happened, between the singing and the sound and the guiding of the meditation. I just wanted to share that. It was very powerful, and I didn't really want to come out of it. So thank you for that.
Yeah. Would you be willing to share a little of the sounds?
Oh, I don't know how it will come across, but it just was really, because a lot of us were sort of like going, and she was like, try to find some variety, like do some, not so much sounds, but do some Fs And that's what I ended up doing, sort of like breathing in and out through an F. And it's interesting because in my voice class, one of the exercises we do to strengthen breathing is to breathe in like you're breathing in through a straw, which is very similar. And
Yeah.
holding that for like 15 seconds, or doing that for 15 seconds, then holding the breath and then exhaling through a hiss for 15 seconds. And it's hard to do. But anyway, I'm getting way off track. But I don't know, did those sounds come through?
A little bit, yeah. I
Yeah.
think I got the idea.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So yeah,
nice.
I can't say anything but, sadhu, sadhu.
Yeah. You might, I really recommend self-guided meditation sometimes, just see what you think. If you have a hard time settling the mind, what would it be like to give yourself a guided meditation? The meditation that actually is appropriate to you in the moment. Just a thought.